hopefully the rest of the community will do the same kind of thing, you know.
Back in Texas, Bigfoot hunter Chester Moore has invited his friend and fellow enthusiast M.K. Davis over for an examination of the famous Patterson-Gimlin film. Davis, an amateur astronomer, has used skywatching techniques to dissect our very down-to-earth Sasquatch.
Basically, technology has caught up with this film. This is a digital world, and you're able to do wonderful things through digital analysis. There you see it blinking its eye, and you see a scar on the forehead actually going up and down, as well as the eye blinking.
That's not consistent with a stiff, rigid rubber costume.
Not at all. It's only 2 frames apart, and you're looking at that kind of movement there. You're looking at something that's extremely dynamic. Of course, I've got the head stabilized, and that makes all this facial movement very easy to see.
When it's proven and the body's brought in, it's going to be looked at as the most important biological film ever. I mean, I really believe that.
Dr. Jeff Meldrum appreciates MK's enthusiasm for the subject, but suspects he might be reading a little too much into film grain. Still, his reading of the film leads him to the same conclusion. This is just not consistent with a hoax.
With a distinctive, I can go on to name muscle group after muscle group that are evident, clearly evident, even given the limited resolution of the film. Here's a very clear shot of a frame that was enlarged when the subject was still fairly close to Patterson. And so it affords us an exceptional view of some of the details of the anatomy. We can see the major muscle groups, such as the gluteus muscles. You can see the shoulder blades, and in the film in motion, see the movement of the shoulder blades as the arms swing, as they glide beneath the skin. Another anatomical detail that can be determined in the film is the ratio of the respective limb lengths, and that's well outside the range of human variation.
According to Meldrum's calculations, the limb proportions are all wrong for a human in a suit. The arms are nearly as long as the legs. All of these details, along with the consistency of the film with the tracks cast at the scene, make Meldrum wonder how it could possibly be a fake. But when it comes to this bit of film, even in the scientific arena, it seems details are often in the eye of the beholder.
Go.
Okay, good. So far, ready to speak.
Dr. Daniel Schmidt.
We went seemed like about half a mile from where they were camped, up into this place where they had picked out before I got there to film the Bigfoot film. We unloaded the suit, and of course they helped me in it. It was in October, you know, and I figured they'd probably be hunters. Most people go to the mountains have a gun, you know. You know, it was so hot inside that suit, and the sweat was just rolling off me, and I was nervous, you know, a little bit claustrophobic. Roger told me to go over to this certain place and stand there. I got out there and waited, and he gave me the signal. He was sitting on my horse that he took down there. So he took the camera and kind of went like that, you know, as you can see the film is shaky. He started walking out across there, and I walked, I don't know how many yards it was, and I turned, you know, the old Bigfoot look and looked at him and went on. All this time, you know, waiting for a bullet to crack through my butt. That was the end of it.
Good job.
I thought I'd done a pretty good job. Millions of people have been fooled all these years. If they would have paid me the $1,000 like they promised, I would have kept my mouth shut.
Of course, there's no hard evidence to prove Bob's story either. The suit hasn't turned up. What did hard evidence to prove Bob's story either. The suit hasn't turned up. What it boils down to is, was Roger Patterson incredibly lucky, or a hoaxer of extraordinary gifts? And in the end, experts on both sides of the equation agree. You certainly can't prove Bigfoot's existence, but for that matter, you can't completely rule it out.
The bottom line is simply this: these footprints exist, these casts exist, something is making them. I've come to the conclusion that we're simply dealing with a grade A.
There's a very strong will to believe, and I think part of it is people don't want the mystery solved. I think a lot of the public is just as happy to have it remain a mystery.
There is no way to establish beyond a reasonable doubt that there's such an animal without having a body on a dissecting table. We have to ask the question, if there's an animal out there, why haven't we found it?
Because you're a dickhead.